Today, I'm looking at Dragonlance, one of my favorite fantasy series from when I was a teenager. Come along with me and let's take a look. Dragonlance. I stumbled across this series at my local library when I was 13. The cover art promised epic fantasy, but of the easy reading, guilty pleasure kind. A critical part of me warned that this series might lack some of the substance of literary works such as The Lord of the Rings. But I was willing to give up substance if it meant half the word count. Dragonlance proved so entertaining that I devoured the first book, Dragons of Autumn Twilight, in just under a week. Over the next few months, I worked my way through every book in the series I could get my hands on. And this wasn't easy. The town I lived in already had something of a Dragonlance readership, if the long book reservation lists were any indication. So as you can probably tell, this video isn't going to be so much a review, but more of a long reminiscence. 20 years on, I'm less interested in the merits of this series as a work of fiction than the meaning it has come to hold for me. After all, Dragonlance played a formative role in my teen imagination. Dragons of Autumn Twilight also served as my official introduction to the world of Dungeons and Dragons. With my limited access to the internet, I didn't know that Dragonlance was just one campaign setting of many within the D&D universe. Another setting, the Forgotten Realms, for example, would give rise to the spectacular role-playing video game series, Baldur's Gate. It was only while playing the second game, Baldur's Gate 2, and encountering crossover Dragonlance characters that the connection became clear to me. That said, Dragonlance wasn't the first time I'd encountered D&D. As a 6-year-old, I'd watched the cartoon series Dungeons and Dragons, but for reasons that remained unclear, my local broadcaster never got the full series, so I was condemned to watch repeats of the first 10 or so episodes. After being denied a conclusion to the series, I'd lost interest. But Dragonlance spelled a renewal of my fascination with this franchise. And the series turned out to have all the makings of a classic D&D campaign. Take, for example, the epic fantasy world of Krynn, racked by a Manichaean battle between good and evil. Krynn had a history that could have filled appendices, in true Tolkien style. Unlike Tolkien, however, the history here was way more digestible. All you really needed to know was that some great cataclysm had occurred, and that Krynn had been abandoned by the gods, and was now under siege by evil forces. The only hope of defeating these forces is a ragtag group known as the Companions. The Companions are the protagonists of the first Dragonlance series. They embodied the essential D&D party. For example, the major fantasy races, such as dwarves and elves, were present. There were also various character classes, from thief to mage to fighter, and each character is of a different moral alignment. For me, the most fascinating of all the companions is the wizard Raistlin. Having completed something called the Test of High Sorcery, Raistlin had emerged extremely physically weak and prone to fits of coughing blood. Raistlin's hair had turned white, and his skin the color of gold, while his pupils had become hourglass-shaped. These new eyes came with the ability to see the effect of time on the world around him. To quote Raistlin himself,
"I see time as it affects all things. Human flesh withers and dies before my eyes. Flowers bloom only to fade. Trees drop green leaves never to regain them. In my sight, it is always winter, always night."
Raistlin is also highly intelligent and has something of a superiority complex. Let's just say this makes him less popular than his more affable twin, Caramon. Yet Raistlin's jaded, prickly exterior seemed to shield a gentle core, as demonstrated by his kindness towards certain other characters, like the dwarf Bupu. Raistlin was, to me, a kind of stand-in for my book-smart self. At the time of reading Dragons of Autumn Twilight, I had not yet been diagnosed with autism. This condition made connecting with others difficult, so much so that I felt often rejected, if not reviled by my peers. In this sense, Raistlin's bitterness paralleled my own, and given how others treat him in the book, his eventual decision to trade the red robes of neutrality for the black robes of evil seemed inevitable. Still, I held out for a redemption. If there was hope for Raistlin, there was surely hope for me. Raistlin and his fellow party members serve as a kind of ad hoc family, complete with shifting alliances and clashing personalities. Many of the characters are archetypical in this sense. The dwarf Flint Fireforge is the gruff grandfather, always grumbling over the shenanigans of the childlike Kender, Tasselhoff Barefoot. Then there is the party leader, Tanis Half-Elven. Tanis plays a substitute parent, forever striving to rein in his squabbling children. As a lonely gay autistic teen, the companions became for me a substitute for the friends I did not have. Their family took the place of my flesh and blood family, even as it fractured. The black and white world of Krynn also provided a safe haven from an increasingly unpredictable world. I might not have known about the existence of tabletop role-playing games, and even if I did, I had no one to play them with. Yet I had Dragonlance. Some years later, a family friend confided to us that she considered books to be her friends. My sister and I laughed at this confession, and yet it was one that felt true to my own experience. For all the fellow Dragonlance fans out there, what did you enjoy most about this series? And for everyone else, which book or series has become your go-to for escapism? Drop a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, I would hugely appreciate it if you hit the like button, turned on notifications, and subscribe to my channel. Through your support, I can continue making more videos just like these. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.